Alright, so welcome to the third cube draft. It's Mike again. So, opening up this pack, I am once again unimpressed. So basically our options would be like Celestial Colonnade, pretty weak. Verdant Catacombs is fine. You know, I mean, I know some people who love first picking fetch lands, but I'm not that big of a fan. Although I am probably going to take a green or black spell. Mother of Runes is okay. I mean, it's pretty good. I just don't like the decks that it goes in. You know, if you're a white weenie deck, I feel like you basically already lost. I think Reanimate is just it's very good. I just don't want to first pick it. I'm going to go for a green ramp deck, I think, this time. And there are 4 green ramp cards, so plus Verdant Catacombs, so hopefully I'll take one of those. I'm going to take Tree Speaker. Mystic is good, but there are a lot of Mystic effects. There's only one Tree Speaker, so I'm going to go with Tree Speaker. And that brings us right into, I like Basalt Monolith. I mean, let's see, if we go turn 1 Tree Speaker, turn 2 Level, turn 3 Basalt Monolith, turn 4, we can entwine a Tooth and Nail. That's exciting. Okay, so, I mean, it's definitely better than Fertile Ground. The only other one of these cards that is mildly exciting would be Frost Titan, is something to ramp into, but, you know, Basalt Monolith is Basalt Monolith. It's very good. Alright, speaking of very good, Bitter Blossom. Probably one of the best black cards in the cube. It's not particularly good against some decks, but against other decks it wins the game if you cast it on turn 2. I mean, it's not something you're ramping into, obviously, but it is pretty good. So, and there's also a lot of black cards in the pack, which, you know, I mean, it's only 3rd pick, but that's a pretty good sign that black's open, I think, especially with Bitter Blossom being passed. There aren't many better black cards that I could think of. I mean, Demonic Tutor, Vampiric Tutor, sure, but what are the odds? Someone took those, right? You know, Bitter Blossom wasn't in the pack, maybe I'd take Lotus Bloom or Shriekmaw, I guess, but Bitter Blossom's here. Alright. Oh boy, my favorite combo, Basalt Monolith and Wake Thresher. So if I want to go blue, there are definitely some good blue cards here. Wake Thresher, Factor Fiction, both. I mean, Factor Fiction is definitely better. Wake Thresher, though, with Basalt Monolith, I love. However, you know, the only black card here is the Messenger, which I'm not really thrilled about taking. I think I'm just gonna take Sylvan Library, go for the 2-mana enchantment deck, I guess. Now, Sylvan Library is good in the ramp decks, especially, you know, if you have rampant growth effects and whatnot. You know, basically, you're going to have a decent number of shuffle effects, ideally, and it's going to help you get the cards that you need. Yeah, so I don't know what they're doing. Basically, I was thinking, oh, Demonic Tutor, Vampiric Tutor. If you get a 5th pick Dark Confidant, okay, first off, people are awful, they don't know what they're doing, so that's fine. But Dark Confidant, Bitter Blossom, with Sylvan Library and Dark Confidant, that's a pretty cool combo. I mean, I could take Birds. Birds is another fine card, but Dark Confidant is very powerful. So Nature's Lore, basically what I was talking about with the rampant growth effects. But I think I'm actually just, I might abandon the rampy plan. It depends on where this takes me. So right now I'm thinking Chainer's Edict or Go for the Throat. I like Go for the Throat over Chainer's Edict. I mean, yes, if I have a lot of mana, Chainer's Edict gets 2 guys, but Go for the Throat kills almost everything that you want. You know, there are definitely times when you want Chainer's Edict, but being an instant, being something that targets, you know, being able to kill what you want instead of what they want is huge. Okay. So now, if I want to be really aggressive, I could take Sarcomancy. I could basically abandon the green cards and Basalt Monolith and go for like a mono black aggro deck. In which case, if the messenger tables, that'd be sick. If I would have taken that over library, that would have been even better, but who knew? So, I mean, the only other real consideration here would be Volrath's Stronghold, but Sarcomancy's not even a guy. Okay, so here is the dilemma. I could take Phyrexian Arena, which is pretty good. You know, drawing 2 cards a turn is huge. Or I could take Death Cloud. Death Cloud with cards like Bitter Blossom, Basalt Monolith is... Basalt Monolith not so much. I'd rather have like a Thran Dynamo or something. I'm going to take the safer bet and go with the Arena. Basically, I know I'm playing the Arena. I do not know if I play Death Cloud. So, yeah, this card, I've never played it, never seen it played. It doesn't seem very good. So instead, I'm going to take Court of Calling, because I might play that. You know, I'm still... Oh, am I mono black aggro? Am I the ramp deck? I don't know. I'm going to take Nighthawk. So one of the things is, I don't know if you notice, you know, 4 of my black spells deal damage to me. I'm just going to cost sort. So I don't like Brooding Saurian. I'm not going to main deck it unless this draft goes terribly wrong. But it's a board card, and I got the Messenger back. So yeah, I'm not going to main deck the Brooding Saurian, but if they have Control Magic and Treachery and Sower of Temptation, it's pretty good. But yeah, I'm going to take Messenger. I'm not a fan of Hexmage. I don't think it should be in the cube, but it's a guy. And then I don't want to lose to a red deck again. That would just suck. So fuck you, Kird Ape. Alright. So I like my deck so far. You know, mono black green ramp deck. Jeez. Okay. So if we were going for mono black aggro, which I don't think we are at this point, I would take Sword of War and Peace. So sorry, I'm thinking. So I'm thinking Rathalos is very good in a ramp deck. If I want to be more of a green-black beatdown deck, though, Kitchen Finks is good. So here's my plan. I'm going to take Kitchen Finks, and then hopefully table either Fauna Shaman, Rathalos, Battlesphere, or Sword. That's 4 cards. I mean, it's not unreasonable if there's a mono red. Yeah. It's not likely, but it's not totally unreasonable. And Kitchen Finks is very good. Okay, so now one Grolf's Messenger. Polukranos is very good. Instant speed off Court of Calling. It's a good card to have in the ramp deck, and it doesn't kill you when you hit it with Bob as opposed to Kozilek or Woodfall Primus. I don't, you know, if I got a Eureka, if I had a Eureka or something like that, then sure, Kozilek, but Polukranos is just a solid, you know, turn 3 play or whatever. So I'm going to take him. So, ramp deck, Mox Diamond. Mox Diamond is probably one of my favorite cards in the cube, because they don't have normal Moxes. So, it's the best Mox in the cube, and that is a good spot to be. So, I mean, my other considerations, Thrawn is pretty good, Herald of Torment is okay, but nothing comes close to Mox Diamond. I mean, let's see. 5 cards are going to table, so there's a chance I'll get a playable out of this pack, even if it's like just Call the Herd. This is a pack, though. I think I need Twilight Mire. You know, if I'm on the Messenger, and Fink's Plan. Oh, Wrath of God would be pretty good in my deck. Damnation, I guess. Yeah, I need mana fixing pretty badly. You know, 4 cards are going to table out of this pack. You know, if it's Mauler, Smash, Cortusar, Lantax, you know, fuck me. But basically, I'm going to table some playable card in my, or at least a card in my colors. Some, you know, calling these playable may be debatable. Alright. So, Aether Vial, I like. If I'm trying, you know, ooh, Aether Vial, Chord of Calling, just like the old instant speed dude deck. It's a thing. So, yeah, I mean, it's either that or Ratchet Bomb or Engineered Explosives, and none of those are particularly exciting. Duress, I think, is going to be an easy pick here. Excuse me. I don't want one of these shitty 5-drops. You know, if they were good 5-drops, fine. But Duress is just head and shoulders above them. Oh boy. It's not too late to go mono black, right? What do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 cards. Obliterator is very strong if you cast it like, hey, turn 3. Or just put it into play with Aether Vial. Okay, so for this pack, I like Painseer. I do. I don't... Yeah, I mean, so at this point, I don't think I'm going to be a ramp deck. I mean, I have a couple ramp cards, you know, Basalt Monolith and Tree Speaker, basically wasting some picks there, but I think I'm just going to be a black aggro deck, and as much as I would want the 1-drop in Diregraph Ghoul, I think I would rather have the card advantage from Painseer. Okay, I took Diregraph Ghoul because 1-drops are super important. Fortunately, when I abandoned mono green, or sorry, when I abandoned the green ramp deck, Tragic Slip, which was one of the, you know, non-green playables in this pack, tabled. So that's good. I don't like Tragic Slip, but it's playable. I'm going to take Dark Ritual. A lot of people think this is just a combo card, but, you know, if I go turn 1, Swamp, Mox, Dark Ritual, Obliterator, that's really good. If I just go Dark Ritual Messenger turn 1, or Dark Ritual Arena turn 1, or, you know, Nighthawk, or Duress, Dark Confidant, you know, it just, mana acceleration is very good. Alright, I could play Putrid Imp. That's very sad. I think I'll take Scroll Rack. It's not the best card, but yeah. Alright, so a few cards that I wanted tabled. Moment's Peace I don't want anymore. Attrition. So when I say a few cards I want, I really meant Memory Jar. Memory Jar in a deck like this is going to be pretty good because you get 5 mana, cast Memory Jar. Next turn, you know, when you crack Memory Jar, you're going to play your hand, basically. Because everything in your deck is cheap. So I'm just going to cut the Ratchet... I'll cut the Ratchet Bomb. And I don't want to get Bonfired into next year, so we'll cut that too. And Lightning. Maybe we'll splash red instead of green. Bonfire and Lightning are pretty good red splashes. Bonfire is pretty good with Scroll Rack also. Alright, so here's where we're like, actually we're not mono black aggro. Yeah. Alright, so basically right now I could take the Inquisition and really force that black aggro deck. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7... 12. I have 15 mono black playable cards. Okay, so what I'm going to do instead is just get Batterskull. You know, it's between Batterskull and Coalition Relic, and Coalition Relic is very good. But, you know, maybe Batterskull is just my finisher, I guess. See, I'm going to take that dude. because I'm off the ramp plan, so even if I took Coalition Relic, it'd be like mana fixing basically, which I might end up needing. But yeah, I think I'm just gonna take Smother here. It's a solid black removal spell, and that's really all a man can ask for. I'm just gonna start hiding all this stuff. Alright, so I guess I'll just be the mono black removal deck. Valid strategy. Yeah. It's not where I want to be, but it's where I am. So Liliana is going to be a pretty obvious pick here in mono black. I'll table Hand of Cruelty 1,000,000% of the time. Obviously, now that I said that, there is no shot of me tabling that card. Okay, so if I had big guys, whatever, maybe Animate Dead would be fine. Liliana's Reaver, I have not been impressed with at all. However, Winter Orb is incredibly effective in aggressive decks. So that's what I'm going to pick. Ooh, boy. Alright. Let's see. There are some solid cards here. Basically, Thoughtseize. You know, if you've played Type 2, you know that card is good. Skinrender is good. Yeah, so basically, I'm going to take Thoughtseize. So, yeah, I'm going to take Thoughtseize and hope a black card tables, basically. Like Shade, Skinrender. I would even I would take Ink Eyes or Night's Whisper. Okay. So now let's hide some crap that I don't want to play. So right now, basically, let's see, we have 25 spells. I can hide 2 of these. So I'm going to hide Ratchet Bomb. I'm going to hide Basalt Monolith. That card's not really getting played. I'm going to hide Twilight Mire too. Alright, so Plague Sliver, very unimpressive. Smokestack and Crucible, that's a fun combo. I don't think I'm going to get either of those last pick, though, unfortunately. I think I want Smokestack. You know, maybe I'll get a Bloodghast next pick. I have Sarcomancy to sack, and I have Bitter Blossom is like the main reason I'm taking that. So now I could just take Braids and like go hard in them sacking their board kind of thing. This is when Aether Vial is key, because if you have Aether Vial out, you know, you play Smokestack, you just sack your lands, you don't care at all. Yeah, so actually I can cut this Tragic Slip now. I mean, like I said, it's fine, but when you have Doomblade go for the Smother, just no reason to play that. And I can cut Scroll Rack too. Yeah, I'm not going to play any of these cards. The card that I don't want to play against, I guess, is Rout. I'm not going to play any of these cards. The card that I don't want to play against. Flagstones is stupid. Like, I mean, it's cute, but I don't want to play against Band Charm. If they, you know, if I have Smokestack or Braids and they get me with Flagstones, fine. But all right. I'm not going to play any of these cards. This is, I don't know if you've noticed, I've said that a lot. So Celestial Purge is pretty good against me. If you haven't noticed, I am mono black. Parallax Wave can be devastating, but actually I'm going to take Purge because I have cards like Liliana and Messenger and Bitter Blossom that I really want to stay in play. Oh, look who tabled Hand of Cruelty. Must be nice to get a card I'm not playing. Oh, look, Liliana's Reaver. You know, so Animate Dead's not the worst. I do have Thoughtseize, which is fun. You know what? I'm going to take Animate Dead because I can board the shit out of that when my opponent is the Reanimator deck. Because there was a Reanimate Pack 1 that didn't table. Nantuga Shade, very good in the aggressive mono black deck. And then if I would have got Crucible last pick, that would have been sick. So Crucible doesn't seem very good in the aggro deck, but when you have Smokestack and Braids, you just grind them out. Okay, so definitely playing the Aether Vial, and the Mox, and the Winter Orb, and the Smokestack. We're going pretty deep. All right. One of the advantages of being mono black is you get to play all these really good black cards that like no one takes Messenger, you know, or Obliterator, but they're very strong when you can cast them. Playing that Dark Ritual. So, you know, I put spells on the bottom, guys on top. Sarcomancy's a guy. Alright. So now I guess bring in the clowns. Well, this will be easier if I do this. Okay. So let's see. I think in this deck I'm going to play 16 land. Let's say 15 Swamp and Volrath's Stronghold. So I'm going to add 3 more playables. Cards that I'm not going to play Tragic Slip. I'm just not. I already have removal spells. I don't need that many. I'm not going to main deck Animate Dead. Ratchet Bomb is pretty ratchet. Basalt Monolith, not really going on my deck. I think I'll play 16 land and just add some 5 drops. Pretty standard operating procedure. I do want more guys, but not that badly. Like, I don't have a lot of creatures. This is, you know, the problem with the cube is that most of the good cards aren't win conditions. So I tend to be picking good cards and not win conditions. But that's okay. Yeah, that's okay, right? So let's see. I kind of want to put in Hand of Cruelty and Vampire Hexmage, even though they're really not very good. Basically, I just want to be able to apply pressure and then put out some disruption. You know, so go Guy, Winter Orb, or Guy, you know, even Guy, Dark Ritual, Smokestack. Or turn 2 Braids is, if you're on the play, turn 2 Braids is unbeatable. I mean, not unbeatable, but it's really hard to beat that. You know, if I go like turn 1 Land Mox Bitter Blossom, turn 2 Braids off of, you know, Dark Ritual. I live in a fantasy world. But anyway, I guess Hexmage is better than Hand of Cruelty because Hand of Cruelty sucks. No, Hexmage kills Planeswalkers, which are decently popular. I can also reset my Smokestack if I want to do that. And it has First Strike instead of Bushido, which is not super relevant, to be honest. It's not important at all. I'd rather have a 3/3 blocking than a 2/1 First Strike, but unless, you know, unless they have a 3/1. But yeah, most cases you just want Hand of Cruelty. So actually, let's play Hand of Cruelty. That's how good Vampire Hexmage is, where you're like, no, you just want Hand of Cruelty instead. Yeah, so I guess I'm pretty happy with the way that my deck turned out. Could have drafted a little bit differently, but let's see, what's my mana base? Oh ho ho ho! Alright. Volrath Stronghold. I'm debating whether or not I should even play it. Like, I have a lot of black only spells. And while it's, you know what? Alright, Volrath Stronghold, not gonna play. I'm just gonna play 16 land. I really don't want to get stuck with, like, you know, Geralf's Messenger and Phyrexian Obliterator in my hand, or even Nantuko Shade, and just be like, oh, good thing I have this land. Alright, anyway, see you in game 1.